Well, I don't know where to start. Where does one begin? It's been a crazy few days, hasn't it? Not least for poor Carl at Please Read Your Book, who's sadly no longer with us, but hopefully will come back to YouTube and we'll come back to BookTube. Um, gosh, there's been a lot of fallout from this, isn't there? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Book Time with Elvis, with me, Mark, and I am addressing what they're calling the latest controversy on BookTube, and I guess in some way I did play my part. Unwittingly, it will be said, because Carl's video, I think, was heading to around 24 hours old by the time I got to watch it. And then I thought, well, I don't agree with some of the things he says, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's wrong. He's talking about his truths, basically, the things that he wished he knew. And there were things in there that I thought I could kind of counteract as to what I saw to be my truths. I mean, the tone of Carl's video, from my point of view, was perhaps a little bit negative and discouraging, and I didn't necessarily want people to be discouraged by it. But it doesn't mean that Carl was wrong from where he was standing and from his own experiences from YouTube. So I suppose my video, which I, as I said, believe was the first one that responded to him. In fact, I think I actually call it inspired by rather than response to his video, 4 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Started a BookTube Channel. At least I think that was the original name of the video now. And now he's gone. He's gone from YouTube, gone from BookTube, and it's incredibly sad. I have to say, when I watched his video and I looked through it, I didn't see a huge amount of negative comments. I again didn't necessarily agree with everybody who did comment in terms of my own experiences or the way things have worked out for me on this channel. And I also wanted to kind of encourage him a little bit and say, look, because he starts off by talking about not doing very well on BookTube, but I wanted to say, you reach 1,000 subscribers, you're in the top 9% of all people on YouTube, not just BookTube, and I thought that was fairly encouraging. And then, as I say, there were a few things I didn't agree with necessarily about, people not watching book reviews and things like that. And of course, admittedly, the book reviews are slow burners, aren't they? They don't take off usually immediately, unless you're a channel who reviews the most disturbing book they ever read, for example, and then explodes, which is fantastic. You catch the algorithm, it's great. But I'm just more upset by the fact that Carl has seen fit that he has to leave YouTube and take down his channel, or at least put his channel to bed, maybe and hopefully temporarily. Especially because you could see that making that video hit the algorithm. It had positive and negative things going on with it. I suppose the backlash from some people, again, I might not necessarily disagree with what they said, but maybe how they said it, I guess. But, the fact is that his channel really started to grow. So I think if it was something that he'd been worried about, it was going well. Maybe it's one of those things where, what's the expression about not being such thing as bad publicity, because his channel at least got over, I think, a couple of hundred new subscribers probably by the time it was taken down. The number of views, of course, he got, people, his channel was more exposed, and deep down, that's probably what all of us like. People get very happy when they see more and more views on their videos. There were other response videos, of course. Debs did one from Raina Reads, Book Songs and Other Magic. Gareth did one. Then I think yesterday or day before, Life on Books, a channel I'm not familiar with, did one as well, kind of riding to the defense of Carl in some ways. Perpetual Shelves also did one. And also Dr. Cranky Pants. Sorry, Dr. Cranky Pants, Dr. Cranky Pants Reads also did one as well. So it certainly stimulated conversation and dialogue, although is it dialogue? Are people shouting down at each other? I think generally most of those people mentioned are kind of on the same, or I don't know if necessarily that's right to say the same side, but I think none of them, of course, are against Carl's video and what Carl said. Some, of course, outright in defense of him, and quite rightly. If you agree with him, why not defend him? But then also, you shouldn't feel like if you disagree with him, you have to walk on eggshells in this community either. You should be able to have polite and kind disagreement where you can express your own views. After all, it would be pretty boring if it was all just one way and from time to time response videos are made. I actually was also a little bit nervous about posting my video because I thought that I was disagreeing with Carl. I half expected people to come out maybe nastily against what I said. It is one of those things that sometimes, you click publish video sometimes with a sense of trepidation when you put it out there on the internet. As I said, I liked, from what I saw generally of Carl's channel. I don't actually, it's always been one of my things, I don't actually watch a lot of BookTube. I just don't have time. If I'm not reading and working, then I'm making the videos. I don't generally have time to watch them. But this one, of course, popped up on my channel. I found I was already subscribed to Carl and had seen, of course, some of his videos in the past. But I'm not a regular watcher, really, of anyone, which sounds bad, doesn't it, really? But that's the truth. I'm being honest with you. And I think a lot of us are really like that too. We certainly watch far less BookTube. Generally speaking, I think, as BookTubers maybe than before, than some people than before they were on BookTube. I never actually watched it at all before I joined BookTube, because every time I typed in stuff about books, it was always stuff that I absolutely had no interest in. It was luckily joining the community that enabled me to find kind of the like-minded people. Carl, this has shown, if anything, that while Carl had his detractors in terms of what he said, and people, of course, are very wrong to hide behind keyboards and attack people personally. If that's what happened, I don't know, because unfortunately it was taken down before I saw anything super negative on there. I was very lucky to have a comment on my video from Carl himself, and he was completely unoffended by it all, and he even left a joke about the fact that where he is living is much hotter than where I was, because I was complaining about the heat. So definitely, I think it's just sad that he has felt that he has to go away from BookTube. Hopefully it's a hiatus rather than an all-out, closing down of his channel. Because as I said, he was finding his audience. He had grown during the course of that video, and he had a lot of supporters. And what this is showing as well, especially when you see, I guess Gareth's, of course, Book Songs and Other Magic, Life on Books, but especially Perpetual Shelves and Dr. Cranky Pants Reads. Sorry, it's very hard to say such a name. Apologies when you're kind of doing a fairly serious subject, but I think those especially show that he has his defenders and supporters, and he shouldn't be cowed or bullied into feeling like he can't express himself. Nobody should be put in that position, of course, and that does no credit to the community if the so-called community does band together and bully somebody or make somebody feel so uncomfortable that they feel they have to leave BookTube. I would say to you, Carl, and unfortunately, when you put yourself on the internet, you do put yourself open to these things. It's very easy to say ignore them, but that's what I recommend. I would say ignore them, hide from your channel, and go forward with the newer community you've started to build around that video, which is probably your biggest video to date in terms of views and new subscribers. And so there are people out there who are showing their support for you by subscribing to your channel and by commenting positive things on your channel. So really, Carl, I would say come back. If you're watching this, come back, concentrate on the positives, ignore the negatives. There's no point. You have your audience, and those are the people you need to be loyal to, right? Those are the people who have come to watch you, to support you, and not to ridicule or belittle you, right? So just ignore the naysayers, ignore the people who are being unkind to you in the comments or wherever else, and just, if you feel like you can, come back and please your your old audience and your new audience, and I'm sure they will be very happy to see you, and I know I'll be happy to see you make more videos, whether I agree with them or not, right? That's the thing. As long as we can all stay kind to each other, that's all that matters. Now, I hope it wasn't a mistake to make this video. We shall see. I will, of course, hit publish with some sense of trepidation, but I wanted to, as not saying I'm certainly not big enough or influential enough to take full responsibility for all of this, but I did find that I think I was the first responder or person inspired, at least that I could find, to that video. That at least I should say something along those lines. And you can see there's no editing here, though, eh? Maybe they would be better if there was. But along those lines, and I want to some degree offer an apology for any kind of role that I might have played in this situation. As I said, judging from your comment, Carl, and this is specifically to you, that you made on my video, I do feel like, I didn't do anything too harshly, and that the video, of course, will stay up. And if you decide not to come back and you happen to see this, then of course I wish you all the best and all good luck. But I really hope to see you back in this community soon, and to put all this nonsense and ill feeling and overreaction and all this stuff to bed and move on. So thank you for watching, everybody, and do take care. All the best.